All right, what's up, guys? Yes, it was who was it? It was Illy. Illy from my stream had was telling me about this video, Goodbye NBA 2K documentary, and yeah, I'm like, I can understand why something like this would be made. 2K is trash. I have said it numerous times. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I've said it numerous times. 2K is trash. NBA 2K is trash, and until they fix that game, and then when they come out with like a 5-star, 100 out of 100, 10 out of 10, award winning game of the year NBA 2K, that'll be the only time I will play it. But until then, I have no desires on playing that game again. So, anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. If you haven't, make sure you guys go subscribe to Agent00 for more videos like this. But anyways, let's get into this video.
These microtransactions, you gotta buy this, buy that, buy this, to buy that, to buy this, to buy this, to buy this, to put a ponytail on your guy.
If you are not Drake, or if you're not an NBA player, if you're not Quavo, they are not listening to you.
This is driving me nuts! He's not beating me! It's the fucking connection!
Where's the talent in the industry that wants to make a sick-ass basketball game that's competitive?
Exactly.
NBA 2K is one of the largest.
My thing is like, I want to play a game where it's fun, but at the same time, like if I'm playing against somebody, it's like a legitimate war. Like I am putting everything I can into the game, but at the same time, I can have fun while doing it. That's the type of game that that the community wants. We want a game where it's like we shouldn't have to. I'm just gonna say this. It's sad that I went back to NBA Live 19. And I'm not playing a game that came out 3 years ago. And I'm not playing the latest, newest video game. So, yeah, this video, I'm like, yo, regardless of whether it's good or not, we already know what kind of video it is. This video, these need to be the videos that should be blowing up in the 2K community. But, of course, 2K is just going to ignore it and be like, yo, we don't see this video. So...
just genres on YouTube. What first began as a crisp smooth microwave video quickly evolved into a community of thriving content creators. So let's talk about why everyone's leaving and what 2K could do to help solve it. 3 months ago, everybody was ecstatic. All we could talk about is next gen possibilities, NBA 2K21 next gen. Now everyone's disappointed. And we remember the jump from PS3 to PS4, NBA 2K13 to NBA 2K14. Everybody was expecting massive improvements both graphically and in terms of gameplay. So what went wrong? Why is everybody unhappy with the game?
And I can tell because I played it on the next gen because I have the Xbox Series X, and there's no major difference. Honestly, you could get the old gen version and play it, and it'll probably still be the same exact thing. Maybe like some slight, because I was thinking it was gonna be something like that when getting the next gen console. It was gonna be something like how it was like from that 360 to the Xbox One. There's no major differences with the console, and I'm like, there's not really no major differences with games either. But yeah, I just find that stuff stupid, man. Who knows? Maybe with this like next wave of games, sport games, who knows? Let's see, but.
Stop playing. I feel like there's a lot of reasons people have lost interest in 2K, but it begins with expectations. It seems like every single time they come out with some grand feature the way they did in 2K18 with the neighborhood and 2K21 with the city, something goes drastically wrong. And in this case, 2K just failed to deliver. So let's talk about what 2K promised and what they didn't deliver. What they promised.
I didn't even play that much of the game. Once I think I did see there was like you have to like play a certain amount of games in order to unlock the city, and I'm just all like, or like outer area, and I'm like, well, y'all lost me there. So then I went to Ultimate Team, didn't enjoy my time with Ultimate Team. I'm like, well, I didn't enjoy my time in career, didn't enjoy my time in multiplayer, and I'm not enjoying my time in Ultimate Team. That's like the 3 like key features in the game. So I have no desires on playing it.
Was a transformative gaming experience, a city, a grand city. You could interact with AI and they give you challenges. You could play with your friends on the garage, and there's a new rent-a-court feature. There's gonna be flooded with people and you could play wherever you wanted. In reality, none of that was the case. You couldn't play wherever you wanted because only 100 people could enter the city. There were server issues out the ass. You were playing on 2 frames per second, and all of the challenges that AI gave you were remedial tasks that nobody enjoyed playing. That on top of the plenty of glitches that would keep you from joining games and getting into the same city as your friends, the overall experience was hindered by, lack of a better word, incompetence. And NBA 2K delivered what they always do at launch, a bad product. Again, it's about expectations. When NBA 2K21 current gen came out, everyone's expectations were low. So when the game dropped, regardless of how bad it was, people played and people were fine with it. It only lasted 2 months. So when next gen came out, with everybody's expectations sky high and 2K failing to deliver the entire first month being unplayable, yeah, people were unhappy and they left. So I was a little curious to find out why both 2K players and content creators were actually going back to current gen and having fun.
I think content creators are playing current gen instead of next gen because, in my opinion, current gen is a good game. The gameplay feels better, it's not sluggish, it's faster. Dribbling is way better than it is on next gens. Plus, more people have current gen. The audience can relate way more to current gen instead of next gen. I personally think that the content is there, but it's not completely there. Everything they did, I feel like with good intent, but just not good execution.
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, they need to hire more developers.
I'm like, and the funny thing about it is that I almost did buy last gen because it was cheaper. And then when I was seeing that next gen, I was just like, oh, well, next gen is gonna probably have like more key features on it and stuff. I didn't even know that city thing had existed. But it was like, I didn't know that you couldn't play on it either unless it was like a certain amount of people, but whatever. But anyways, there's no, like, yeah, playing it, it honestly seemed like playing a newer version. Like if I was playing like NBA 2K20, so it didn't really come off as like a brand new game. You would think that it would have ran better on the next gen console rather than the old gen console, but that's wild.
That goes without saying, and there's no point of doubling, tripling down on that because 2K's not doing it. They make billions of dollars off this game every single year.
That's the thing where I'm like, what is the budget? I remember I said that, but I'm like, what is the budget for NBA 2K? Like, how much does it cost to make that game? Because I'm like, I would imagine that it costs a lot. I would imagine it's just like all of the content and all of the stuff that you're adding to it. I would imagine that it costs a lot, but it just comes off as like a copy and paste. Like, at least like for all the like old consoles, like the past gen consoles. But I'm like, with this new one, I'm like, yo, what was the budget for this game? Like, how much does it cost to make a 2K game? Because I'm like, is it $1 billion? Because if so, I'm like, who do you got? And then that was another thing. I was like, who do you have making this game? Because I'm like, they need to be fired. But I know somebody was all like, it's the owners of NBA 2K. They're like, yo, just keep doing this over and over and things. But I'm like, somebody has to hear or something, because I'm like, I refuse to believe there's the owners and it's like the people that's sitting down making this game, like they don't have a say so in what they want to do with this game. Like they just keep copying and pasting and all. No, I refuse to believe that. There's no way possible. It's like you guys literally have people that's built this community no longer playing the game. I checked Cash Nasty because Cash Nasty was like one guy that I watched a lot when it came to playing this game. Nowhere to be. Maybe he did play. I think he did play for a little bit, but he's playing like, it just trips me out to see him playing games like Among Us or other stuff. And he's staying away from this game. And then they have him in a commercial not too long ago. So you think they added him to the game? They have him in this commercial, and they most likely paid him a crap ton of money for it. If they didn't, then I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, he ain't even playing the game no more. So I'm like, all the money in the world, all the promos, all that stuff. It cannot change how a person feels about this game. If they truly feel stressed out to the core when playing this game, bro, it's just you guys need to do something.
The game still is understaffed. The game still releases underprepared, and they spend the first few months of every game's launch trying to fix it. But more than that, they need to make the actual experience of getting better at the game and being rewarded for it infinitely more enjoyable. As of right now, you throw lobs and flashy passes and fade at every imaginable opportunity, and that's how you win games. That's not a good gaming experience.
I have fun when I play next gen for occasion. Anytime I just want to get on and record a video, that's fun. I do not have fun trying to grind for level and try to get rewards, because the rewards are the same and there's no actual initiative to play for long term. And that's what video games are about.
I think the biggest problem with 2K21 is that they need to make things less inconvenient. The way that the gameplay is, the way that the whole shape of like the park or neighborhood, whatever they're calling it, like all that stuff is just massively inconvenient. They need to make it way more easy and simpler. They need to go back to basics and then kind of restructure from there. But I do believe a lot of the things that are in the game is just way too convoluted.
What do you think went wrong with next gen?
What do you think went right? Oh, you don't want to say anything?
You asked a question to my question?
I did exactly that.
Okay, Peter.
No, seriously, what went right?
I don't know, Peter.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So
Not much.
First things first, 2K, you need a skills gap in your basketball game. It goes without saying. And the fact that NBA 2K21 Next Gen is the least skilled version of the game that we've experienced in almost a decade is pathetic. When the game is easy to play, I actually feel like there's no reward to being good at it. And so when there's no reward to being good at the game, why would you play the game? Everyone begins to cheese and just run the same sets. Everyone has the same players, everyone got the same 3 builds, and everyone has the same exact play style. That's not fun. And it goes without saying, there needs to be better rewards, 2K. I grind my ass off, I make it to legend, and that's all I get? People should be excited about grinding to a level because of all the new rewards and perks they're gonna get. But instead, on 2K, a lot of the rewards are recycled from previous years. And the stuff they added new to NBA 2K21 Next Gen, well, they're dry. They need to do a better job of making the experience of leveling up and being rewarded for it fun, enticing, and enjoyable. That just takes
Seems like they're being cheap with it, because it's like, you think about it, it's like if they were to add like rewards to like certain, if they were to add like certain rewards to the game, then it might require a license for it, and they're probably like, we don't want to spend no license to add no rewards, so let's just add a tiger, the freaking hoverboard from Back to the Future, and a jetpack. Because it's like, you don't need no license for that stuff. And it's like, if it's, you know, I don't know, like they should have it where it's just like the reward system. I guess like it can be a little bit more funner or something. I don't know, maybe like where it's sneakers or something. I mean, yeah, it's like they overall have it where you can't just go to the store and buy the shoes or something, but it's like for like some, I don't know. I just think that there can be, you know, more to it rather than just like, yeah, some stuff like that. Because I'm like, that's overall what the guys, what Agent 00 is saying. It's like, yeah, it's add some stuff to it, bro. Like, add something new, like different. It's like, okay, dang, like, yo, this is better than last year's. And then when the next year one, they're like, yo, this is better than last year. And it's like, I want that same feeling every single year, like when playing this game. But like I said, I'm not playing this game until it's like when people are all like, oh, no, this one's good. This is a pretty good one. When it's better, cancels out every other 2K. It's a brand new game. That's the only way I play it. And don't do no like, because I know with the WWE games, I don't know if he made a video about that, but it's like he'll have a field day with that, because I'm like, yo, well, I heard that WWE 2K20 was just so glitchy and buggy and bad. I'm like, bro, 2K, what is you guys doing? That's why I'm like, yo, who do you have working on these games? Because I'm like, y'all need to do something. I'm saying, like, it shouldn't take years or months or however long to focus on the game and fix it. No, like, come on now.
people. Hire more devs, 2K.
You know,
Yes.
you've never actually gone to Legend, right? Like, ever?
I've never gotten like I played on a Legend account though. It was underwhelming.
Okay.
I think a lot of content creators get tired of like the repetitiveness, and they get tired of like not expecting anything new or different. Like if this is the same thing over and over and over again, I think it sucks the creative nature out of creating content. And if that ends up happening, you just find yourself in a rut, and you realize like this is it for the entire year, the entire lifespan.
The reality is
I think I was like just thinking of it, but I'm just like, do they have like challenges that you can do to get? I don't know. Like I don't play enough 2K to know like what new things they do, new things that they do or what, but they should have it where it's like challenges, like, you know, if a player did this during practice, you got to do that. If it's like a player did this or, you know, something, and it's like, you know, like overall did something crazy, or whether it's in the game or whether it's something. I mean, it's like, you know, have it where it's like something like that. And then also, this is something I've been speaking on for the longest, where I'm like, yo, have it where it's like my player, we don't have to start all the way from like ground zero, you know, when playing this game. It's like we're over here like, because you'll have it where we'll be like overall 60 something, right? We work our way up all the way to the, my thing is like, okay, have it where it's like next game comes out, we're at that overall, but then y'all raise it up. Kind of like something with Destiny, because I think that's what they're overall trying to aim for when they came out with that city thing. So kind of something like Destiny, where the light level, so when the next game comes out, that's what, honestly though, that's what they should just do. They come out, okay, yeah, come out with a bad, horrible, but call it just NBA 2K. Call it NBA 2K. Don't come out with another NBA 2K after that. This is the final NBA 2K, and then just have it where it could be a game in the works, like, or an early access game or whatever. You know, people determine the bugs. People determine, build off of that. Build off of the people that are actually playing this game, and they have, because you pay some YouTuber however much money to be like, oh yeah, just say these nice cool things about it and stuff. I'm like, look, I can't lie to my fans like that. This game is crappy. This game's crappy. Stay and worry about paying me off to talk good on the game, because you know viewers' minds is gonna be, because it's just gonna take one time for me to get mad, start yelling, raging, throwing controllers and all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't want my fans, you know, you don't want me to do that in front of my fans. So it's like, you guys just need to come out with a better game, because it's like, I think it probably cost them more to come out with a better game than to pay off some YouTuber. You could easily pay off some YouTuber $100 and something thousand, or maybe more than that, to promote the game or whatever and call it a day. But it's like, nah, bro, like, I don't want to do that. I want y'all to come out with a good game. Like, but yeah, just come out with NBA 2K, and then just build off of that. Like, that's it. That's all y'all got to do.
2K never launches ready, so let's look into the past to see what we could do in the future. Every single year when the game launches, there's something catastrophically wrong. We all rush to try and address it, the devs get to it at some point in the first few weeks of the game's launch, and the game becomes playable again. How do we skip over that whole part so that the game just launches ready every single year? One way to do it is just to have 2K working with multiple dev teams. So one year while someone's working on NBA 2K21 next gen, there's a whole nother team working on NBA 2K22 next gen. That way the games come out more polished, but again, you need to hire more people for that to happen. When there's a yearly launch title and every single year they're being asked to come up with new content, do enough to make the game interesting, and that's across all the game modes, the city, my team, play now online, my NBA. That becomes almost impossible, and that seems like the most reasonable method that a lot of other dev teams have used to launch yearly titles, but come up with new good content and good products ready and prepared every single year.
The rewards are terrible, the dribbling sucks, everything is like, why doesn't anyone play that game?
How you feel about the lack of updates on 2K21 next gen?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played the game in like a month and a half, so I wouldn't know.
Tough.
I think the views are down because of the same reason why content creators don't like to create content. It's just, it's not creative. It's nothing new. There's no innovation there. There's nothing that's bringing me to the game that I haven't already seen in the past 2 or 3 years. It's essentially the same thing. It looks very similar, you know, the last 2 or 3 cycles.
And to add on to that, 2K, you have to, and I mean absolutely.
It's like, bro, you could have just waited until the train like went by. He was all like, nah, this one take, we just gotta get it out the way. But
we have to come with game testers that are actually good at the game. When these game testers are awful at the game, it's gonna reflect in the game. It's gonna come out broken. Get people to break your game before the game comes out, and it's gonna come out a lot more polished, ladies and gentlemen.
The devs mentioning physics updates and changes is absolutely ridiculous, because the game feels more stiff than it ever has. I don't understand how 2K14, 15, and 16 can feel so much more fluid, can feel like a real actual player. And then the next generation game, when they added physics and added all this more movement, you feel like, it feels like I'm literally playing Roblox when I play that game.
That is fucking disgusting.
Dang,
oh my god, compare the difference to mine. And I haven't gotten my toes done in like 4 weeks.
I think content creators are not posting this game anymore because content creators are not playing the game anymore. Once again, even though they're adding the city, the new stage, the new court, the new vibes to the game, there's no reason to play long term. Aesthetics can entertain me for the time being for 1, 2, maybe 10 games, but I actually need to have a reason to play. So I think content creators are not posting because they're not playing.
How you feel about the level design in the city?
I think it's pretty good, but it doesn't matter because the game's terrible. All that work for nothing.
It's a cool concept what they had going. I'm like, I didn't know that city thing existed. I probably would have kept the game a little bit longer to just see what it was all about. But yeah, I just, you know, I really don't see it being all that fun or any of that. Like, I mean, yeah, like the city thing, I just probably just went to see what it was, and then I took it to back up to GameStops. But always make sure you buy a disc copy of it. Don't buy that game digitally. That's just a way. Now, you really wasting your money doing that unless you could get a refund for it. But
it's clear to me that the NBA 2K developers know what they're doing. If they didn't, the game will look a lot like NBA Live. But because it doesn't, and NBA 2K has dropped good basketball products multiple times in the last decade, I'm confident they could do it again. And with the next generation jump and all the new ceilings that they can do and all the new development tools at their disposal, we expected a lot.
If you had one message for Ronnie, what would it be?
Suck my No, I'm just playing. Cut it out. Cut it out. Don't be defensive. Don't be so defensive. I think that's probably the biggest thing with Ronnie. I get it. He gets a lot of flack from different directions, and I do believe as a community we should understand like that man ain't got nothing to do with like the actual creation of the video game itself.
I thought he was just. I remember. I thought for the longest he was just a dude that gave out codes. I didn't know that he had like a say so in that game. And me, whether he does or he doesn't, I'm like, yeah. I never really seen that. It was just more so like, yo, whoever is working on the game, like, can you guys make it to where it's like a playable game,
like from a community standpoint, we should really take responsibility on how we communicate with Ronnie. But I do believe there's a lot of other ways where he's just being mad defensive. He's putting on this, this front as if like he's someone that we all know he's not, and it just makes it much more difficult for the community to communicate with the person who's supposed to be representing the community. And from there, I do believe there's a disconnect between the two entities.
So that's all this really was, is just expectations being let down. NBA 2K, for current gen, nobody expected anything from you guys. And so people were happy with mediocre, or below mediocre, should I say. But with next gen, everyone expected greatness. And so when we got mediocre, that's where the disappointment happened.
Yeah.
And you could see it in the faces of the people that play the game every single day, in the content creators that weren't excited to hop on and play and record and upload themselves playing the game every day. And these are people that have been doing this for almost a decade, giving up now. So you have to ask yourself the question, what it is about what you did with NBA 2K21 Next Gen that turned a lot of people off? And the answer is pretty clear. So
you
close.
saw where I was going there, right?
Yeah.
There are two big things that 2K can do to change their problems in their games. The first thing is make the game free. If you stop coming out with
Yes, that's because remember that year when they made a $2.99? That's what I'm overall saying, like, because that's why I referenced Destiny 2, because I'm like, have it where it's something like that. And then it's like with whatever, cosmetics or whatever. But I'm like, that's just, to me, that's really, really scummy and messed up, where you have somebody spend $70. I spent $70 on this next gen NBA 2K just to play the same game I've been playing. Bro, come on now. You gotta understand, like, that's what I'm like, how would that make you feel? Like, talking to the developers, how would that make you feel? You've been playing this game, you've been putting your money into it, you've been doing everything that you could for this game for years. You've been promoting this game, you've been making videos on this game. Like, I mean, making videos on it is promoting it, but you spent all this money on this game just for them to slap you in the face, come out with another one, and there's like, come on now, like, somebody has at the 2K headquarters has to be like, yeah, that is kind of messed up. So I'm saying, like, yes, make the game free from now on. Don't, and have it where it's something like that, where it's like, when a new update comes out, then that's when it's like but I'm like, just don't have it where it's like that stuff where it's to me, it's just stupid. I'm like, if I gotta work a little bit harder to get what I need to get to in that game, okay, but y'all need to make it where that game is free. So I'm like, well, that was a waste of money. So
annual releases, which is the second thing, you will have much more time to focus on said project. If 2K came out with one set game and they did season passes for every new season with updated material, updated maps, parks, cities, gear, all of that, within a 4 to 6 year span, they would do so much better with their product. Stop coming out with annual releases, make the game free. Microtransactions are a thing. As long as they're cosmetic, you're good to go. That'll solve all the problems.
So you might be thinking,
see, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't mind spending freaking $5 on some shoes. I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that for like an outfit or anything else, but have it where it's like, it's still like we can play the game overall to like, get what we want to get in the game and things. But that guy, I see that guy cool. I mean, this whole video is good, but I'm like, that's what I like to hear.
Is the solution just to play on last gen, on the current gen version of NBA 2K21? Answer's a clear no. Everybody got their strike packs and modded controllers. You can hop on there, but the experience is gonna be riddled with hackers and people trying to ruin the experience. So if next gen is our only option, what could the devs do to solve it?
I think the biggest issue they made was having the city be one massive server. If they're gonna be affiliations, they should have had separate servers and load mass people.
I never even heard of that before. I never even knew that something like that was possible. I just assumed that all game just had different servers. I'm like, for them to come out with one server, that's crazy.
Separate servers and go to a door or something to get into the next lobby for the next affiliation.
But more than all of that, the entire gaming experience should be optimized for fun. I've been asking for a proximity chat for years now, and I've never gotten a good reason as to why it's not added in NBA 2K. You're in a city amongst people, and you can't talk to them unless you're in a party with them. That makes no sense to me. So simple features like that I know would make a magnificent difference and just the fun factor of the game are not added. And that spans across the entirety of the game. A lot of opportunities are missed, and I don't know why.
This is not the worst 2K of all time. This is one of the best 2Ks when it comes to brand new content they're adding to the game. In terms of replay value, this is one of the worst 2Ks. But in terms of content, it's one of the better 2Ks. It's kind of hard to balance, but it's up there when it comes to content, in terms of like new things they added, but there's no reason to actually play, so that's what a game's about.
2K, your game is not fun right now. You need to add some fun into your game, and that's a difficult thing to do. I get it. The community's saying one thing here and next thing there. Really, no one's ever happy with the current version of the game. People only reflect years past and say, man, I really enjoyed NBA 2K19. But me personally, I'm a guy that works beyond franchise fatigue and recency bias. When 2K19 was out, I said it was one of the best 2Ks of all time. I believe that. When 2K16 was out, I said it was the best 2K of all time. I believe that. And that was amongst everybody telling me how bad of a game it was because of this, and this. I could see through that.
Let's be honest with each other, man. At the end of the day, I'm just not having too much fun making the 2K related stuff. There's no coincidence that your favorite 2K creators also have second and third channels now, because the trajectory of 2K is going like this. We're a couple months into the 2K21 cycle, and people just don't care anymore. People aren't playing at the parks. People aren't playing rec and things like that. It's just not fun.
NBA 2K21 Next Gen objectively is a not fun game. I know that now, and I know that'll be the case in 10 years when we look back at this date. But please, you need to do something to make the game playing experience enjoyable, rewarding, and most importantly, fun for everyone.
I actually think it's unsavable by this point. I think there's too much irreversible damage.
They think like you, by putting some legend on the cover, you think that that's gonna make the person like want to go out and buy the game. I'm like, that's some scummy stuff right there. That to me is some scummy stuff. I'm like, nah, don't put Kobe on the game, making it seem like, oh, okay, because we put Kobe, the people, they gonna buy it because we got Kobe on the cover. No. I'm like, you could come out with just a download only, or whoever is on the cover. Make it where the game, I'm not buying the game for the cover, although they've had some nice covers in the past before. But I'm like, I'm not buying the game for that reason. If I want to get me a dope picture of Kobe, the internet exists. So I'm like, bruh, like, y'all gotta stop doing that, charging 90 something. I remember when I was going to go get NBA 2K, and they was all like, oh, do you want to get the Kobe edition? It's like 100. I'm like, what I look like spending $100 on 2K? And I know I'm not gonna. You guys most likely gonna see me in here next week trading this game back in. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that.
Nothing. Nothing. Because they're not gonna add dribble moves. They're not gonna change nothing. And don't get me started on 2K22.
How you feel about 2K22?
2K, you've been given many suggestions on how to make this game a better experience to play. And it feels like the grand ideas, you just have to wait till next year. And the small ideas are still not being implemented. And on top of that, the communication is non-existent, 2K. We don't know when the next update is gonna happen. It's been over a month, and there's just some glaring issues with the game that have yet to be acknowledged, let alone addressed. And so you have options. You hear the community feedback. And I know the community managers and all those guys, they relay that feedback to developers. And so it's on the developers to let us know what's going on with the game. Because as of right now, people aren't having fun playing. Y'all new to the channel, man, be sure to subscribe. It's investigative agent analysis in the building. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Let me get off this fucking thing before I fall off. Let me get off this thing.
Yeah, this is a pretty good video. It was one of those videos I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not the only one that feels this way. All right, so, but anyways, yeah. Everything that was said in this video, I agree with. So definitely, hopefully 2K sees this and be like, you know what? He's right. I'm like, well, they're right. We overall, we got to change our ways about this game and come out with a game, because it's going to get to a point in time where it's like, imagine it's like 2K, because it's like, what, nobody ain't really playing the golfing 2K. Nobody, they canceled out that WWE 2K game. NBA 2K is literally their leading game. And it's gonna come to a point. I feel like what's gonna happen is that they're gonna be super late with this stuff. I was all like, bro, for a second, I couldn't see my second shoe. I was just all like, wait a minute, what? Like, who took my Yeezy? I was like, wait a second, man. But nah, it was just like a trick. I was just like, all right. But anyways, besides that, who took my Concord? Now it looked like the Concord ain't there. Why is the shoes like that, bro? That's weird. But anyways, all right. But yeah. But I'm overall, like, I do agree with everything that was said in this video. I'm like, I think 2K, they need to watch this video, probably watch it like maybe 4 or 5 times until they actually understand it. If they need to watch it longer, do that. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully 2K sees this video and stuff starts changing. But if not, then like I said, I don't really see myself playing this game no time soon. So anyways, yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe to Agent00 for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.